Well, got that music there. Got some good stuff here. We're gonna do a little different this week. Gonna do a little post week 8 and pre week 9, obviously, for the NFL show this week. As we talk about here on November 5th. Great stuff. Just a little wrap up from last week. We talked about Ravens Bucks. Obviously, Ravens stepped up. Bucks just not looking good. Ravens are the best 5-3 team I've ever seen in my life. And that Jags Broncos game, definitely a tough game. You thought the Jags might take a step forward, but the Broncos finding a way to win what really England deserved that game. That should be a game that should be played in Flushing for the toilet bowl. Not a good game at all. Panthers Falcons. Both teams blew this game 3 ways from Sunday. Excessive celebration penalty really made it harder for the Panthers to win. Falcons get away there, and Falcons are in the first place in that division. It's awful, but 4-4. And we said it's the worst division of football, and it clearly is the worst division of football. There's no two ways about it. It's horrendous. There's no good way to say it. So really bad division for the that league. It's just awful. Then we have a situation where Bears, Cowboys screw up, show us a little bit of maturity there, taking out the Bears. Obviously not good. He's putting up 49. Dolphins went out and signed Chubb and then signed him to an extension. So the Dolphins are serious. They're 5-3. They're going to get right back in it. Although AFC East, very tough division. So obviously there's some craziness going on there because the AFC East has shown itself to be very, 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 very tough. Raiders Saints. Raiders are about as disappointing as it gets. Saints, I feel like they've lost. Looks like Michael Thomas is out, but the Saints, I still think have something in the tank. The two teams that the Vikings have played so far and beat, that I think still have something to offer. I think the Colts and the Saints are both very talented, and obviously the Dolphins as well. I think they're all got their best work ahead of them. The Dolphins, of course, were really injured. Jets, Pats. Pats showed you why they're the Pats. Belichick 4-4 with this team, which is not a good team. Eagles grew up a little bit with the Steelers. Titans 5-2, despite all the problems. Not a really good team. One of the worst 5-2 teams you'll ever see in your life. But Lovie Smith keeps playing it close. Again, he played it close in the beginning of Week 9 here. Just really, really, really impressive how they're handling themselves. It's very, very, very good stuff. He keeps them in the game. They had hanging around there for the Eagles. It just didn't work out for them. Rams, Niners. Rams, there's definitely something wrong there. It's not the same team. Super Bowl hangover. Commanders beat the Colts. Commanders now unfortunately have life for our game this week. They're 4-4, so they feel good. That wasn't good, but hey, we go with it. Bills, Packers. Bills pounded the Packers a little bit. Seahawks beat the Giants. Too bad kick return fumbles, or else we're talking about something different. But again, a couple of plays there. That game's totally different situation. This week we got the Pack is away, but they're still favored by 3.5. Like I said, the Eagles beat the Texans the other night. Eagles look pretty solid, but again, late they pushed away. Again, Lovie Smith doing a great job. I know the record's not going to show it. He's got that team prepared every week. They just don't have any talent. Dolphins, Bears, another maturity game. Bears have shown some ability to put up a couple of points all of a sudden. Fields has had his moments. Dolphins with 5-3 in their division need to really make a statement. There's nobody under 500 in their division. Their division has the best record in football, pretty much. Them in the NFC East, as we'll talk about. So if you look at it, very, very solid division. So the Jets have to keep pace with the Bills. Problem is the Bills might not be in the best mood. Bills are giving away 11 here. I think the Dolphins beat the Bears going back to that game, -4. Bills -11, even though it's at home for the Jets. Jets have a good defense, but the Jet offense just has to score some. They're getting all over the kid here this week. Wilson, I think he's been all right. He just had a couple of turnovers last week, but yet he threw for a lot of yards last week. So which one do you want? Do you want the guy who doesn't turn it over and doesn't throw for any yards? I mean, Jet fans are just incredibly pain in the ass. I mean, so here you are, you're 5-3. How about shut the hell up and enjoy the fact that the kid is not the moment isn't too big for him. Sure, he tries to force the ball in too much. He makes Brett Favre decisions without Brett Favre's arm, and that's always spells danger. And the biggest joke of a game of the week, the Raiders 2-5 away at the Jags. You get the Raiders are still favored by 2. Some of the spreads this week, I'm just really confused by. They go by past instead of present, and I just don't think the Raiders should be. I think the Raiders are going to bag that thing, and Gruden's the best lucky guy in the world to get the hell out of there. I think the Jags will find a way. Vikings giving away 3.5 at the Deadskins. So Schneider's going to sell, so that's a positive thing. They forced him out probably much. But the Deadskins, who I refuse to call the other name, just stay slept. Deadskins are going to have some life. They're 4-4. If they win this game, they get to 5-4. If the Vikings win this one, I mean, geez, they'll almost be clinching us so far ahead of the Packers right now, and the Bears and the Lions. Pats host the Colts. If you look at it, big game here. This could be one of those teams that gets a 7 seed. So you got the Colts 3-4, Pats 4-4. Pats are at home. Pats are favored by 5. If the Pats could get this, that's a big in conference game, which is one of the big tiebreakers. Get you a chance to get something done. Chargers at the Falcons. Falcons, like I said, first place in that division. Chargers really need this game. This is a tough game, though. This is going to be a nut-cutting game because the Chargers really need it, and the Falcons are in first. So that's going to be tough. I think the Chargers are a better team, but again, the Falcons have played for something. Mariota's resurrected his career a little bit, and they've gotten some things done. Panthers 2-6, just a mess, but showed up last week playing the Bengals, who got their head handed to them by the Browns, which was just really strange. The Bengal offense didn't look like they got off the plane. Very strange stuff. I look for the Bengals to rebound at home, -7. It's a big spread, but I think the Bengals will have a big day. Seahawks at the Cardinals. Cardinals -2.5. This is a game for the division here. Seahawks win this one, they get a 3-game lead on the Cardinals, and that would be just tremendous. And the 49ers, if Cardinals have to strike back here. Cardinals have a ton of weapons, as the Vikings saw last week. You just got to find a way to put it together. A couple of turnovers by the Cards, a couple of late turnovers, and that was the difference in the game. But that's definitely a big game. You can see that the Cardinals have to take a stand here. And Pete Carroll last week won the battle of the Coach of the Year candidates with him and Daboll, and Pete Carroll won that battle. And you can see how good the coaching is in that game right there. You see Seahawks would probably, Pete Carroll getting them to 6-3 would be Coach of the Year material. He still is Coach of the Year material in my book. Then we have Rams and Tampa Bay. I think the loser is in deep duty here, although Tampa, the records in their division aren't great. They could probably pull off a late rally, but Tampa's all banged up. So you got to see what they're up to here. They've given away 3. The Rams are pissed off. They're 3-4. If the Rams could ever fall 2 or 3 games behind, they might miss the playoffs this year. And for the rest of the league, that'd be a good thing. Guess they're a tough team. I still think that they have the chance with that defense to wreck a game on you. Chiefs Titans, big 5-2 game. I don't think this is going to be much of a game. Chiefs are favored by 12. If the Titans can control the ball, that's a big spread. It might be one worth betting on if you're a person who likes to bet. Saints Ravens should be a fun game. Saints Ravens giving away 2. Saints really need this game. Saints could ever get this game, they'll start to roll. That's my prediction there, and they might get off to maybe 10-7 or maybe 9-8. They'll try to get that thing together over there because they've been besieged by injuries. But if you look, so we go back to the standings here. So we were talking about this last time. Big division guys, big schedule guy. If you look at the records, the AFC East obviously is 7-9, 9 games over. So the AFC East with a 9 + 9, you can't beat that. AFC East is off to a great start with the +9. If you look down to the AFC North there, you're -4. AFC North is plus North is -4. Let's go through it. Then we got the South, which is definitely one of the worst divisions in football. This was our thought before the season. 1 game, 2 games, 2 under, 7 under. South is 7 under. We talked about them being horrendous, and they are. And the AFC West, which we thought was the best division of football, this might not show it here. 3, 4, 2, only 1 under. West is 1 under. And so right now, if you go to the NFC and check this out, I think it should be the NFC East is just like the AFC East. It looks like it's way ahead of the game here. You got 12, 16. They're 16 games over, by far the best division of football right now by record. That means they're winning their games out of division, which is why the Viking game scares the living crap out of me tomorrow. And we still got to play 3 more games in that division. We lost the Eagles, who slapped us pretty bad that night. The NFC North is 5-3-1, 4 games over, 4 games under. North is -4. And we got the South, who I thought was the worst division of football, -2, -4, -8. So the South is the worst division of football at this point as far as records go. And then the AFC West, who we thought would be a really solid division, is -1 right now. So there you have it right there. I think it's going to be a great week of football. I'm really looking forward to the schedule. I think it's going to be just some extra thoughts here on the schedule for the week. I mean, this is, you're really turning the corner here. You're week 9. You're more than halfway done after this week. Pretty much everybody's gonna have 8 games in. You're about halfway done for people. And like I said, I think the biggest game of the week is that Charger Atlanta game is huge. Obviously Tennessee and I think Kansas City are both safe, so I don't consider that as big a game. I look at the nut cutting games, and the Rams Tampa, obviously big time nut cutting game here. By the way, Chris Carter shirt on again, telling like it is. Obviously, we're gonna stick with the Chris Carter jersey when my Vikings are winning. And again, I think there's some Titanic moments for some of these teams. I think Arizona here needs to make a stand, or they're going to be in the toilet. I think the Raiders are done. Jacksonville's done. That's the toilet bowl game of the week. Like I said, the Viking game scares me because I just don't love our game management. Still, again, last week, twice in the game on 2nd and 4, where we're running the ball down their throats in situations where we need to make the clock run. We throw a couple of passes, clock doesn't run. We let them score before the half. Just bad clock management. Viking fans and the fan site just say, "Oh, that's not, you're not being a real fan." Well, if you recite something that's fact and you ran the ball and then you threw it twice on 2nd and 4, it's not an opinion. It's a fact. They need to take the clock right before the half, and they didn't do it. And to let the Cardinals come down and score. That's not what we need. Indianapolis and New England, that's a big game. Like I said, if either of these teams try to get that 7 spot, this is one of those games that could help you. Green Bay at Detroit. Detroit's still scoring some points, but I tell you, if they could ever beat Green Bay, I don't know what's going on in Green Bay. I still think they're a better team than their record. Carolina, like I said, Cincinnati. Still expecting Cincinnati to have a bigger week. Miami with a maturity game tomorrow. Lots of buys this week. The Browns are off. Dallas is off. The Giants are off. Denver's off. Pittsburgh's off. San Fran's off. So a big week of buys. We're turning the corner here in week 9, and it's just a great log jam. Let's check out those standings again, if we could. Let's look at the conference standings for playoffs. If it ended today, which I know people hate that, but I like doing it because I like to see where I'm at. Buffalo would get that bye. Obviously, Tennessee would host the Chargers, which would be a hell of a game. And I think that Chargers are better than Tennessee, which is why the records in the division prowess is so important to win the division. Obviously, the Dolphins would then go to Kansas City. I don't think that would work out too well. And the Ravens would host the Jets, which, believe it or not, would be fun. It'd be great to see the Jets get in. I'm not a Jet fan, but right now the Pats are 4-4 and the Bengals are 4-4 on the outside looking in. And if they could ever get that done in the NFC, it's a really just a wild situation here. The Eagles would get the bye. The Vikes would have to play the Niners, which would not be good. The Niners are well, and now McCaffrey making big plays last week, throwing for one, catching one, and running for one. It's going to be tough. I'm expecting maybe that the Niners could catch the Seahawks, but we'll have to see. I definitely, as a Viking fan, would not like to see the Niners rolling in there at the 7 seed because they're a lot better than the 7 seed. We all know that, and I know the Vikings would be favored against a record, but I would not consider us the favorite in that game if we had to play that game today. Seattle would host the Giants, and that's, again, Giants could win that game, and the Cowboys and the Falcons. So obviously this is going to change. I don't really know. Obviously the Commanders are 4-4. They're the AC right now on the outside looking in. Rams and Bucks both really struggling, and the Packers. Those are 3 teams that before the season you'd probably get even money that all 3 of them would make it, and yet right now they're all on the outside. It's not a good situation. The Bucks beat Green Bay, so they're going to have that advantage. So it's going to be interesting. But I don't think we've heard the last of the Saints. I think that's the team we got to keep an eye on. I know Michael Thomas being injured is really a bummer, but I feel like there's something still there with that team. Same with the Cardinals, and obviously the Dolphins go out and make that big sign with Chubb this week, and so 5-3 in that situation. I think that we haven't heard the end of that. And so if it ended today, 3 teams from the AFC East would be in, which is quite the statement. And obviously there'd be 3 teams from the NFC East and if the playoffs started today. And of course they don't start today. The Vikings division, unless Green Bay catches fire, I don't think there's going to be another team that gets in. And obviously the Bears and the Lions do not have the firepower to run off 5 or 6 in a row. I still think with Aaron Rodgers, you do have the firepower to run off 5 or 6 in a row. It just depends how desperate it gets up there. And if they start, everybody starts bitching at each other last week. The running backs seem to want the ball a little more. And I understand that. 2 of their best players are running backs. So to have 2 running backs on the field anymore just isn't done. But, if you can be creative with your offense, I'm sure there's a way to do it. You can run out of the old pro set and see if you can take clock and let Aaron Rodgers manage games. And at the end, let him make a play to win a game. But who knows? We'll find out. So the thing is, I think we're going to be okay. I just feel like we just got to find a way to get some good coaching decisions here for my Vikes against these guys tomorrow. We got to play. I'm a little nervous about this game because I see a little turkey coming here. A couple of turkey heads. here on Tell It Like It Is. We're always excited about that. Thanksgiving time means football's in the air as well. Very excited about that. Like I said, really looking forward to the NFL games this week. Post week 9, so we're going to Vikings this week. Again, Spotify, Facebook. Make sure you go out and vote. Let's go see the